What's up, guys? You're watching Riot Press Productions. My name is Patrick Thomas Purnell, comic book illustrator, college instructor, and toy collector. And here we have Skullman by Remco from 1982. This was a figure that I got from a dude that works with my my wife, and I guess he found it in his mom's garage. Didn't know what to do with it. I did a little bit of research on this guy, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, this guy is actually worth a couple bills. I didn't know this was such a big deal, like this figure. But I guess people are really stoked on these old school Remco type of He-Man figures. Now he's a little dirty here. Like, we're gonna clean him up a little bit. But I had to do some research on this. Now, like you see right here, it says Remco 1982, New York City, New York. I didn't know these were made in New York. That makes me like these even more. But I want to clean this guy up a little bit and see what he looks like all polished up, because I think he might look pretty sharp. I got some of the extra accessories. I ordered some extra accessories online to go along with him. So I'm gonna clean him up. We're gonna get him all jazzed up and looking all spiffy for the ball. Yeah, I like these old school Remco figures are actually pretty hard to find, especially with their accessories and all that stuff. I've seen some of them around. I've seen some of them in stores and people doing reviews of them online. Yeah, he's got some stuff. Lots of I don't know. It looks like just like charcoal all over him or something. Trying to get him now, like his head and his waist are a different type of white than his hands and his boots. His hands and his boots are painted on, so those are going to come out more white probably at the end. The plastic white that's on his waist and his head is like that type of plastic that kind of turns like yellow. But I think we'll get this guy cleaned up pretty good for the most part. But yeah, I wanted to clean him up and just kind of, put them on display with some of my other old school He-Man figures, because like when my wife's friend gave this to her to hand off to me, I thought he looked cool. I was like, oh, this kind of is like, is that Skeletor? But he kind of looks like a Skeletor ripoff. I was completely unaware that these figures went for more than He-Man figures in some cases. Or at least like equivalent to, it's like when you see like rip-offs of like G.I. Joe and Transformers, like you don't think they're gonna go for that much. But here, I don't know if it's because they're American made or just because they're hard to find. I will say, messing around with this guy, he's got lots of stuff right here in the hands. It's kind of hard to get off. I'll probably have to bring this guy over to a sink here in a second and kind of maybe loosen some of the stuff off and rinse them off. But like as I was inspecting this guy, I'll say that these Remco figures are actually made a lot better than the old He-Man figures. As far as like that rubber band thing that goes on inside their legs, like this figure doesn't have that. It has like a bit of like a connecting joint situation that connects in the crotch area. And I don't think there's any metal inside of them too. Like so when I rinse them off, I don't think it'll ruin them in any way. Let's see. Some of these boots turned up a little bit. I feel like if we work in here a little bit, we can get some of this off, make them look really polished. Add a little more cleaner. Now I'm just using a little bit of water and a little bit of all-purpose Lysol. I'm not using anything crazy. I don't want to take off any paint or anything like that. I'm just kind of gently, scrubbing away. Now, like there are some markings on here. I guess probably when he was a kid, he was kind of just messing around with a marker and just like mark them up. I think we all did that with all our figures. So I'm gonna try to get some of this marker off as much as I can and get some of this soot off. I don't know. This looks like charcoal. It's weird. Let me get some off his butt here. Now, like his back, it looks like he got melted a little bit in the back. I don't know if you know, like what this toy has been through. That's interesting things to see when I get figures from other people that had them as kids. Is just seeing, you know, the wear and tear. I mean, I love seeing them all like played with and stuff. You know, I'm glad this guy wasn't sitting in a box. I think we'll be able to get him looking pretty sharp. I mean, he won't be perfect. I mean, if I can't get some of this red, you see that burnt spot right in his belt area. There's nothing we can do about that. Maybe I can go over with some paint, some red paint. I also got the Q-tips in here because I wanted to get inside of these little joints, like in his mouth and his eye sockets, and get this cleared up. I actually saw online that people made like custom Motu Classics versions of this guy. So apparently this guy is kind of popular, you know. You know, like I've seen some of the, again, like as I mentioned before, I've seen some of the Remco figures around, going for a pretty penny. And I was watching a series of this videos on YouTube one night, and someone had their bucket list figures, or not bucket list, but their wish list, and it was flashing through images, and it like through this guy's like wish list, and this figure popped up real quick for a second. I was like, wait, what? It's like that guy that I have this sitting over there? You know, I had him displayed with some of my He-Man guys over here. But, you know, I had no idea that he was such a thought-after figure, you know, that like the people wanted this guy like so much. I mean, he does look cool, but again, it's like it's like you never know what's going to be worth stuff, you know? It's like, I wish I knew, like when I was a kid, like what was gonna be worth a lot and what is it. Now here we go. He's looking pretty good. I think I want to give him a little bit of a rinse off. Bring him over the sink and just kind of rinse off some of that soot. And here we go. He's looking pretty sharp. Again, as I mentioned before, his whites are looking pretty white, except for, you know, like the waist and the head. It still has that yellow type of thing that happens to plastic. But I mean, his white boots and hands are looking pretty good. Now I do have to take this guy's head off to get a cape on him. He came with a cape, and I was able to find a replacement cape. He also came with a bow and arrow and a knife, and I was able to find replacements for those online. Yeah, fun little knife here, and then just a simple vinyl cape. You know, that's all he came with. Now, taking off their heads are always sketchy, you know, or at least the Motu heads are kind of sketchy. But I don't want to break it because I've tried breaking heads, or I've tried taking off heads of Motu characters before, and I've broken them off. I think what I should do is run this guy under some hot water and kind of soften him up a little bit, just so I don't end up doing anything foolish to him. So I think I'll bring him over to the sink here in a second. Now the sink worked out well, but if you look at the head plug there, so much better than the Motu head. The Motu heads it's like a weird type of fit. Like that is like an ideal plug. Like I might be looking for more of these Remco figures because they're just made like so well, and this head's gonna pop right on. I can tell very easily. I mean, so many times I've tried to take off a head of a He-Man character, and it just breaks. This rips, you know. But his head goes right on. I couldn't get some of the red markings off. He's got one on his boot. He's got one on his head. I wasn't able to get rid of. Again, like I probably could take some paint to it, but I don't think I want to do that because it might end up. I'm not sure if I'll be able to match that yellowness of his head. But again, you know, just some of the other He-Man characters, he came with the open hand and then like a grasping hand. We'll kind of just put the bow in his hand for now, just for display purposes. I'm not sure if that's the way you want to rock them or not. But I think this guy looks pretty sharp. I mean, he looks very similar to, you know, that shot of him that I had in the package at the beginning of this. But I think we did a pretty good job of cleaning this guy up. I'm pretty satisfied. He's looking pretty good. I'd like to do some comparisons to how he looked when we first got him to how he looked now. And this is something I'm gonna try to do more of. This I'm gonna try to do more of, like fixing these figures or cleaning them up and kind of making them look a little more polished and doing these videos. I had fun doing this one. So here we go. Here's a picture of what he looked like, the turnaround of him when I got him. Again, looking pretty dirty. A little bit of Lysol and water and paper towels and Q-tips goes a long way. And then, of course, you know, with his accessories, he's looking pretty boss. Yeah, I think I'm gonna rock this guy for a little bit. I might put him up on my eBay. Well, I might put him up on my eBay. I don't know. If there's a link for my eBay down below, then you realize I've come to the conclusion I want to sell this guy. But again, Skullman from Remco, awesome toy. I'm glad I cleaned them up. I'm glad I got some replacement parts for him. He looks really great. If you guys would sub, give us a thumbs up, and hit that bell for notifications. And then also run over to Indiegogo and check out Ultrastar, illustrated and written by me, colors by Matt Yackey, only on Indigo. Have a good one. See you guys later.